And welcome to From A to Z, an Aavegotchi Podcast with Z-Fi and ZombieShepherd, your hosts. We are doing it a little different today. Normally we're in the Discord channel, but today we are in the Restream GMI studio. So
Brand
we're
new
going to try
spot.
it out. Yeah.
I'm digging it.
So, you could be watching this from really anywhere because we're on GMI, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. We are also on Zombie Shepherd, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook for people
I got to
that
get my
actually
account
know
in
me
there.
IRL. And where else are we? We're actually on the Get Up Hero Twitter as well. I said, why not? You might as well stream things as well. So
Blast it into the universe. We're here.
I
for
haven't
everybody.
really been using that Twitter account much. And actually, the Instagram account for Get Up Hero says Piro is dead. And someone like DM'd me and was like, why is Piro dead? And I didn't answer them because he's dead.
That's appropriate.
I also didn't open the DM because like dead people can't leave you unseen, hopefully.
Right.
I guess dead people can ghost you though.
That's what they do, like by default, right? by definition, they're ghosting you.
Totally ghosted on that one. Yeah, so it's nice here in the studio. It's a little lonely until people figure it out. We dropped a little hidden link for people to join us. You don't have to be part of the team to join us.
Yes. So if you are looking to join and you are part of the GMI Friends Discord, we've got it dropped in the general chat and in Sounds of the Ghost. We just
Looks like we got Mycalium following from Twitch on one of the accounts. I don't know which Twitch he's following, but there you go.
Nice.
This is
I dropped links to the GMI Friends Twitch.
There
so
you
it's
go.
probably from that one.
Killer.
And it looks like actually, if you hover over, there's a little eyeball on our top left here. You hover over that, and it tells you how many viewers from which places.
Nice. Very cool.
Loving the new studio. Man, there's so many new toys and buttons and stuff.
So many new toys. That's why we had to go live, man. I'm glad. We're making strides for season 2. I like this camera angle right here is really powerful. I really like that we can do this. We can still use we can still use our OBS and our virtual cams if we want to, but right now I'm just going hot cam, hot mic, like very natural podcast setup.
A lot easier to get started.
And then we've got some awesome like new artwork coming. Like we haven't started working on it yet, but we've been in talks with someone. We're going to maybe be releasing that news next week, but we have someone on board who's going to take care of season 2 assets and the whole new rebranding of the show. And yeah, I think that's going to be launching at the beginning of the year, probably, depending on how fast our collaborator works. And when I say collaborator, it's who knows what else is going to happen here. We didn't just bring on a graphic artist. We brought on a third teammate to like help grow this show into something really cool.
That's right.
So
I'm very excited about it. We got a good intro call set up for tomorrow, and if that goes well, we'll be able to announce next week. But
yeah, so the studio, we have our first guest in the studio. I do have it set to where we won't see people if their camera's off at the moment. I could change that if we had a lot of guests with cameras off, but I am going to go ahead and toggle Supreme Pablo on so that if he wants to speak, he can just unmute himself to speak. Yeah, the way this works in the studio here is anyone who is toggled off, we can have people in the background waiting in the green room to be toggled on if we want. But interesting features we're going to have. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have the normally prepared show notes that I usually do for this week. We were working on so many other changes, and
right.
I just didn't get a chance to go through all of the proposals in detail the way that I wanted to. So we'll touch on the props. We'll touch on like the results of the ones that finished last week and the ones that are live for right now. But I wish I had more.
I keep getting a lot of comments about the shirt.
It's a great shirt. It's a one of one. First of all,
it is a one of one,
and it's
I'm wearing it.
It's a pretty iconic piece.
Yep, this piece right here has a lot of lore behind it, and people really enjoyed it. I wore it in Miami, and people really loved it. So
it looks like it's holding its value too. I saw there was a GBM for a resale on one of those Friends This Is Fine pieces. It was up there. It was definitely above original listing price. So numbers go up.
Oh man, one of our friends is asking if the shirt is available. It's currently not available, but that doesn't mean that it might never be available. So we'll see. We'll see.
We will see.
I was actually given permission by the artist to print more, but it was for Miami for the idea of giving them away to people. But it ended up being like really tight on the print schedule. And I got the shirts literally like 12 hours before I got on the plane. So cutting it pretty close with the shirt.
Cutting it close for sure. But you said it was a great conversation starter and a great opportunity to kind of gotcha pill some folks. So that
it's such a great meme.
It,
I mean, everybody loves the, this is fine meme. And so even to the point that like you add a gotchi, you add the gotchi mug, and then you don't even need the quote. We know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's effective.
We know what this means. And it's such a double layer with the idea that like the whole crypto market, like he made this during the SBF thing. It was like that week or whatever.
It was
like
crazy
Aavegotchi,
dump.
We've just been fine through the entire bear market. Like we've had our ups and downs, but like we're doing a lot better than most people,
Very true. And speaking of ups and downs, I don't know if you noticed, but yesterday there was a bit of a ghost pump. I think it was a mainnet thing. I don't know where it started. I originally thought
Coinbase.
I think it was Coinbase. I originally thought Kraken, but it looks like the pump lasted longer and was more intense on Coinbase. The whole time I was watching the curve, it looked like the curve hit $1.09, $1.10, because that's the ultimate source of pricing truth, essentially, for that token. And it was over as fast as it started. It's already back to 102. So like zip zoop. If you were available at the moment and you had some ghost on hand and sold, congratulations on your quick profit. Get back in.
Get back in. Yep, that's true. That's kind of funny. Like, yeah, it's weird. Like, why did it happen? And like Alchemica didn't see that much of a spike in relation.
It did. I mean, it spiked, but not proportional. I think it was mostly due to, Coinbase just recently listed Ghost. So maybe there's low liquidity on the sexes and everybody was just trying to play their pump and dump games. And here we are on Polygon with the Curve and QuickSwap. And we're like, what are you people doing? Here's some expensive Ghost.
Arbitrage.
Yeah.
Opportunities. Yeah.
I have 12 Ghosts, so I wasn't riding that roller coaster, unfortunately. But for those who sold at the top and got back in, congrats.
Oh, man. You could have easily made that 14 Ghost.
Maybe. Gains.
Oh, man.
All right, let me see here. All right, so should we jump right into the DAO proposals? Should we start
we might as well. I don't think we have much. I mean, we do have some social news as far as like PvP and stuff like that. But
when does that start? Actually, let's do that first. First.
I mean, I don't know exactly, but I think we're supposed to be doing some testnet stuff this week. I heard.
My gut says 16th.
16th is Friday.
Friday. Is it the 14th? Logged out Aavegotchi.
There you go. But yeah, I hear we're going to be testing some PvP, which I've got my gotchis hooked up and ready to go.
Vault's looking, or the arena's looking pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, it's going to get dangerous. I've got some weapons. I don't know what the weapons floor is looking like right now, but I would imagine people are scooping things up if they weren't previously already thinking about it. But
and there's other games in the work too. Gotchi Heroes, Gotchi Miners.
Gotchi Heroes, yeah.
A lot of stuff going on. Bullish.
I think we're going to actually get another test of Gotchi Miners at some point. Hefe's working on that for like, I don't know, maybe for a hangout 1 GMI week. I don't know. I know
Gotchi
he's working.
Heroes, if you're interested in testing, is doing a second round of testing now. I think this is their first, or it's not testing. This is pre-sale. Right now, it's the Polygon mainnet pre-sale. They were testing on Mumbai, and it's another one of those passive games where you kind of accumulate. You can upgrade your weapons, you can upgrade your gear, and you accumulate points, and the difficulty to win continues to increase. But they've got a marketplace and seemingly plenty of active users. So check it out if you're interested in that. G Hero token, I believe, is for sale at a discount. Not financial advice. If you're interested, I'm educating on an opportunity. It is for sale, I believe, at a discount for the first rounds.
I was thinking about this not financial advice thing and how, like, I know it's basically a meme at this point anyway, but I was thinking about how it, like, at this point, people like saying not financial advice is almost like when your grandma posts on Facebook, you do not have permission to use my pictures. And like, it's like this, it's like this ridiculous statement that everybody's like, clearly, I'm not going to listen to you for financial advice, sir.
Yes. Yeah, don't listen to us for financial advice.
Oh, man. Like, yeah.
Well, I saw a comment in chat.
In ghost memes.
Yes. Face is saying Strategotchi.
Yeah. I saw that.
Is that
Lagan's got a board game?
I played a test run or two. I think I played a test run. I think I saw a second test run.
I always miss all these things. I'm always like busy when they happen and shit. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they're typically at weird times too. Weird for US time zones, but it's a fun game. I know there was a lot of iterations, a lot of tweaks and changes to the game rules and the mechanics, but yeah. Lagan's Aavegotchi board game.
Nice.
We'll see how that comes into fruition, but I liked it so far.
Nice. Yeah, and then I mean, I don't know. We've got so many other little like quiet things building in the background. I guess we won't mention those. We'll wait for those to get a little more built out. But I mean, anybody who comes to our GMI calls already knows like there's some hot stuff going on.
That's true. And I guess if we can do a quick GMI update, if you are interested in the GMI Secret Santa, there's a sign up form. Get up in that sign up form. We're going to leave it open for a couple more days here. I think till Saturday's hangout. Not very long. A few more days. And then we'll close that list. We'll draw the names to figure out who's giving their gift to who. And we've got a week, I think one more week to get them ready. So
what is going on here?
What are we playing with here? Chat's on screen.
Yep. I'm boom. Apparently I can just choose someone's comment to highlight. There you go.
Oh, I see. You click show.
Well, I just wanted to turn on the chat, but apparently it won't show the old chat. It only shows new chat. So there you go. So if we want if we want the chat live, we have to leave it open all the time. This is interesting setup though. I don't mind this. Wonder what happens. We do picture and pick. Oh, see, I don't like that.
That's very small. How do I do this?
Yeah, we'll go back to that. So,
yeah, Foreign signed up for the GMI thing. You will have to hold my hand while.
Are you on Lens?
I'm right there with
you. Either way, we actually discussed this. If anybody has trouble minting their Secret Santa, we can certainly do it on the GMI Friends Lens account. And oh man, we need to get
Foreign still needs an invite. If we do open this up to GMI Friends minting, I think I might take you up on that too, because I've never done it before and our contract works, so let's just use
it. Face said, "Oh, so Twitch is where it's at."
Yeah, Twitch is where it's at.
You must be long.
He's watching from YouTube.
Yeah. Yep. This is kind of funny.
We broadcast it everywhere, so we'll see. I mean, we've got people watching
this is the first
on your
time
Twitch.
We're really doing this. Yeah.
This is good.
Back to
what are you fighting me for? What do you? I guess I'm fighting Mike Halion.
No, Hard Hat.
What?
He's fighting with Hard Hat, trying to figure out how to use the GMI contract.
Oh yeah. I got hung up in that. I installed I think everything I need, but didn't. Yeah, I think what's going on here is I'm missing half of the words. Hey, there we go. Yeah, that's exactly it. Thanks, Vicalium. So I'm missing half of the words because our GMI logo is covering. There it goes.
There we
That
go.
half of the chat. So now, good eye. Appreciate you. Bam.
Yeah, so the Secret Santa, I'm pretty excited about it. And I talked to Gerline. We have an idea of something we're going to do, so I guess that means my Secret Santa no longer involves photography. It was going to involve photography, but now I'm doing something else. Oh, look, Hefe just found us. We're hiding. Oh, man.
Welcome, Hefe. Yeah, we're trying a new thing. We're streaming directly from studio instead of piping through Discord. So we put all the announcements out with slightly different instructions.
And there's limited seating in the studio. So if someone wants to come join the conversation, there's a link in the GMI Discord. And I think we are limited to like 10 people here at a time. So like the first, if we count, then the first 8 people to come in the studio get to be on the show.
And Super Paul's already in here.
Yep. So there's only 7 seats left. Yeah, we're experimenting with this, obviously for the cameras and stuff, but also because when we start to do more token gated streams on Lens, when we start to have special episodes, like it's going to kind of work this way using whatever we end up using, maybe Huddle. And then I guess I imagine what we would do is record those episodes and then rebroadcast them live on Restream. But it would mean that the actual like live event would only happen in Huddle.
What about there's a new Twitter Spaces clone for Lens incoming. Have you heard of this?
Oh yeah? That's interesting.
I'm forgetting the name. Starts with an R. But yeah, that's coming. So we'll have that live streaming capability natively on, I believe it's Lens. Maybe it's Lens. Maybe it ties directly into Lens. But anyway, that's coming. So we're going to have all these features soon. And if we're first, sweet. We can put our first post on everything. All right. Well, should I jump back into DAO stuff?
If we want to get into DAO stuff.
We're ready to dive into some proposals real quick. Backspace. There we go. So from last week, we had a couple that were open that have since closed. And now we've got a couple of new ones that are open for voting. Let's just go through the old ones. I don't know how far back I went last week, so I'm just going to start at Agip.
I think we were...
I think 53. Rarity farming was done last week, and then the channel Alchemica by Burning Kinship was still open. Anyway, I'll start there. We'll just see. So Agip 53 to channel Alchemica and burn Kinship. That was the -4 Kinship for every time you channel. Do not implement. That didn't go through. There was another one to update the template for all snapshot proposals to require the use of weighted voting so that it would kind of take some pressure off of the larger DAOs and the larger groups that are voting, and it would allow people the ability to granularly suggest or show indifference. I mean, this feature allows you to show indifference as well, but that appears to have passed 97%. Strong support. So we'll see the weighted voting kick in here pretty soon. The proposal to burn locked spillover. This was Mark's proposal to burn everything that's been locked, or burn everything that's been locked and burn everything that's coming out in the future. That very narrowly was a new do nothing result. Option 1 was burn everything. Option 2 was burn everything and in forever burn everything. Burn everything got 36% of the support, and do nothing got only 49% of the support. So it was close there, but ultimately we are not burning the locked spillover.
Yeah. Like I said
There
that last
was,
week about that one, it's very pathological. It's very like, yeah.
this would be the next step to pumping bags, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. There was a counter proposal. Hardcore had put out a counter proposal to that one to reserve this backspill for district DAO economy builds. Anything that we could build out in the DAO square or road repairs or whatever things might be needed in the individual district DAOs. Oh, this is what I should have been done. This is what I should have been doing. Thank you. So yeah, the one for that one is still open. If you think that's a good idea to reserve this backspill instead of burning it, and to earmark it specifically for district DAO economy, that one's still open. Feel free to jump in there, put your vote on, get your voice heard.
I mean, I personally say that this is the most egalitarian choice that we have because a lot of that spillover belongs to the asset owners, and to give it to those district DAOs is, in my opinion, like the next best choice.
I like having that emergency fund available as well for, we're going to have great battles. We're going to have big instances of large amounts of damage requiring large amounts of repairs. We're going to have all sorts of events coming through these, different acts of the Gotchiverse, and burning it now seems really, really early, really not well thought out, kind of jumping the gun on things.
Yeah,
Reserving it with a bookmark or with an earmark, that's interesting.
It's also the idea that like anything that a district DAO or like anything that we should be doing with these things would be to build the infrastructure, which is essentially a lock.
Right.
And I think
it's never going to go back into the economy. It's never going to be circulating liquid. It won't affect the market price.
And even if we did decide to build a bunch of things and then tear them down, we still only get 50% back. So
then there's 50%. Your half burn. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So it's not a good idea to say, let's just burn these tokens when we could use them to build out the Gotchiverse. I think it would almost be better to put forth a proposal that says, hey, all the spillover can only be used for, social projects or whatever. But that gets,
I think that's close to what Hardcore is proposing here with this counter.
Exactly.
Proposal. But he was very specific about, let me get the wording here. Where'd it go?
Yeah, exactly. To be very clear, backspill would be set aside until district DAOs are formed and used only for purchasing municipal installations directly from Pixelcraft, who would then burn the Alchemica.
I prefer this proposal, personally. I went ahead and voted for this. The current vote on this is to do something else rather than to reserve the backspill. But the end vote on the burn proposal was don't burn it. And I think that's the most important one here. That's the most important result of this group.
Well, it's also that's kind of the problem with governance in general, is that someone writes a proposal that says, hey, we have to do something about this. Let's burn it. And then someone else feels the need to be like, well, I have other ideas about what we should do with it, when like 2 weeks ago, we weren't even talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, so it instantly becomes this like, we have to do something, and it's like, yo, it's been collecting there for 6 months and we didn't have to do anything about it. So everybody just calm down a second. We don't need to react all the time. But it forces a reaction. Like when someone just says, hey, let's go burn a bunch of assets, you have to step up and say, hold up, hold the phone a second. Like, there's other things we could be doing. But as you can see, I guess, through the vote, everybody has more or less been like, yeah, let's not do anything drastic. Let's just calm down and like not burn it. Let's not give it to district DAOs. Let's just not do anything right now.
36% of voters wanted to burn it. Wanted to burn everything that exists, and another whatever it was.
Well, 36, not 36% of voters. Let's not get it mixed
36% of the vote weight.
Right. So that's the other part, is like, yeah, that's why token weighted voting is so skewed, because you have no idea what 36% actually represents as far as individual wallets.
I mean, you could look, but then how many of those individuals are voting from multiple wallets. That's where it gets kind of
exactly.
You can't really trace it at that point.
Right.
But yeah, that is a good point. So 36, let me get the exact number. 36% wanted to burn all currently locked, and another 14% of the vote weight wanted to burn all and future spillover. So that is 50% of the voting weight. Really close. Like
Just
right
wants
on the
to
edge
burn
here.
everything.
Just wants to set it all on fire. That's a really narrow margin, 49 to 50 and change.
It is, and it makes me wonder of the people that vote that way, like how many of them are actually building? Because if these are people who like aren't building farms, who aren't building installations, who don't mint tiles and all these other things, then like basically we just have like people that are like super bearish on the Gotchiverse just ruining it for everybody who's not.
In a maybe attempt to address that specific issue, the other active proposal right now is to fund an Alchemica spending competition.
Although Hefe pointed out a clear problem with this is that instead of like the prize being Alchemica, the prize is Ghost.
I think there's more than one problem with this, but that is
there's multiple problems, but that's the biggest one right there.
One
is
concern for me.
If you're gonna have an Alchemica spending competition, shouldn't the prize be Alchemica, not Ghost? Like, what does Ghost have to do with this?
Just pays you. It's just more yield.
Exactly.
Yield.
So it's another one of those things where you're like, hey, I have a really great idea, and you're like, line my pockets, and it's like, can you try saying it another way, sir? Yeah, burn everything. Yeah,
burn everyone else's pockets.
Yeah, yeah, like anything that I feel like causes
leaderboard for spending as soon as I say it's okay.
Right, like any kind of token manipulation that I feel like makes it go up. Those are all my ideas, and it's like, come on, man, at least put some lipstick on this pig. You know what I mean? Like,
well, let's take a peek into this one, this Alchemica spending competition. The proposal itself seems to already be assuming that this will happen, and it's asking for additional funding. I'll let you navigate back there. Okay, so Pixelcraft has already confirmed that they're going to put 25,000 Ghost toward this initiative. This proposal is asking for another 55,000 Ghost and requesting it from the Gotchiverse player rewards wallet.
Right.
Which DAO doesn't have permission to say anything about. So, I don't know how that's going to play out with Pixelcraft, but that is what this proposal is for. If we don't do the additional funding request, the details of what this Alchemica spending competition will entail are on the DAO forum itself. I'll drop a link into Sound of the Ghost. But where else can I put this? Should I put that right into the chat? Interesting.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not a bad idea, but it's also like not. Yeah. It's not. It's obvious what their intention was, and it just feels like another way to do rarity farming. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, how else can we do this?
It seems skewed in that way. It's definitely far heavier for like the top 20 or 25. I forget where the number is.
Yeah, longer tail for sure. I mean, I don't think anybody's against like parcel decoration competitions. We've talked about this for a long time. And we have talked about like the glitter leaderboards. So I think there's a lot of like good ideas here. I just think that overall making the prizes Gotchiverse prizes as opposed to Ghost is
throw in some deco, throw in some,
It's not a game anymore when you're literally just paying people money to play instead of like giving them like prizes for playing.
Right. So this competition would have a leaderboard, a raffle, and different rounds. Just really interesting, maybe unnecessary, but interesting multipliers for different rounds of the leaderboard.
Yeah, the
I would love
multipliers
to
were pretty
hear.
good ideas because it was basically like tiers of if you put a bunch of Alchemica in early, you might have a different multiplier than someone who throws it in at the last minute trying to top everything, which kind of makes sense
Yes.
because yeah, it makes sense. So say you spent a lot of Alchemica early in the week and then someone else wants to try to top you. Well, it's going to be harder for them to top you if they wait until Friday to do it. You know what I mean? And then that also
Only on the first round. So the multipliers are set up differently for each round to
that's weird.
vary that. So the first round would work just how you're saying. Actually, scroll up a little bit, and there's a link to the forum discussion itself. Where did it go? Oh no, I'm sorry. It's at the bottom. I was thinking of the Gotchi board.
Is this what we're talking about?
This is accidentally what I directed you toward, but there's actually a link to the discourse, the DAO discourse. That's where I was trying to point you toward. But that specific tab screen share worked great. Nice.
Oh no, we're about to get hit with that boom.
There we go.
Hard white.
Yeah, right. So scroll down a little bit and you can see those round multipliers. The first one would work just how you said. If you get in first, if you dump in early, or actually it would work reverse how you said. If you're the first one in, if you're in on Saturday, you get a 1x multiplier. But if you wait till the last day, it's reduced input.
These also don't even make sense by the time you get to round 3. Like why is there a sweet spot on Tuesday?
No idea. Maybe it's like a rush to hit the peak, and then you spend the rest of the week FOMOing and fighting for the spot. I'm not sure.
I mean, maybe it's just to get different metrics for each week because, like, say, with the first week, you're obviously front weighting it, where the earlier you get in, the more your multiplier. Then for round 2, every day is the same. And then for round 3, you're doing this like bell curve where you're saying, all right, well, people who put in closer to the middle of the competition are getting a better multiplier. But I don't understand the point of doing that. Like, why put it in the middle?
I would love to hear if there are people in the audience who have thoughts, who have looked through this, have opinions on this. I would love to get more perspectives on this one. Is this one? I'm not convinced. I mean,
see, this is why I was being very cynical in the beginning, because I see a lot of great ideas here that look gamified, but in the end, there is no game here. So attaching a bunch of like gamified metrics to a thing in which you're basically just saying like, pay the people who spend the most.
You're just scheduling spending. Yes.
Exactly. Like this is just like, yeah, token distribution based on like metrics. It's not a game. If I can calculate exactly how to win, is it a game? Like, I don't know.
Hefe's got a good point here, good opinion here. I'll throw that up on the screen. The reward tail should be longer, like rarity farming, where we've got kind of that long swooping curve where everybody gets a little something. There should be ways to move up the leaderboard if you have tiles or decorations on your parcel, and rewards should be in Alchemica. Yeah, see,
I totally think that. Like, the tiles and decorations should have the multipliers as opposed to other things, like for parcel decoration. Because, like,
if you've already built, you're completely left out of this. If you've already built, you've already shot your shot.
Well, that too. But like, say for instance, if I have a parcel that has every genre of decoration on it, that should be like the golden multiplier. Like, you know what I mean? I've got grass, I've got mosaics, I've got a golden tile, I've got Halloween, I got Christmas, I got, whatever. Like, I built everything. I built, and if you got a piece of land with a little bit of everything on it, that should be like, mega multiplier, because I do all that.
Interesting.
You know,
that would be like an airdrop farming approach,
this
an
is why I
airdrop.
know that these proposals aren't written with the game or gamers in mind, because you're not rewarding people for playing and being involved in the game. You're rewarding people for spending money. You're basically saying the largest spenders should be rewarded, and the people who actually spend time in the Gotchiverse, fuck them. Like, it doesn't really matter if, like, it doesn't really matter if I minted a bunch of mosaics and I do this and that and the other, like, in the Gotchiverse, because in the end, like, you only want to reward protocol people and protocol assets. The Gotchiverse, so every time we talk about let's make it more gamified, I mean, even with like the proposal for the kinship thing, I think that taking kinship for interacting, you're basically saying like, okay, well then I won't interact and I'll get better at the game by not interacting.
You'll get a higher yield for not interacting.
I will get a higher yield. And basically right now, the only score there is in the game is the yield. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, that's kind of my hot take on the whole thing, is none of these proposals are making it to where a person who actually like plays the Gotchiverse is being rewarded.
Yeah, I would think I would agree with that.
Time in the Gotchiverse is not being rewarded. Just like, literally, I could be someone who like doesn't do anything, hasn't channeled once, and then I hear about this like parcel competition, and then I come in and drop 20 ghosts on Alchemica or whatever. Like, I just drop 20 ghosts a day on Alchemica just to build a farm, just to say I did it, and then I get rewarded basically my money back and then some. And I haven't participated at all before this.
But if you have been investing in your farm, your reward is we've just repeatedly nerfed your yield.
Right. And guess what? None of the building you've done previous to now counts in this parcel decoration contest. So basically, if you don't start spending now, and then, a proposal comes like this, and you also say, well, I better like not spend until you're counting it.
Right. So, had I known that this was coming and that this was like I had to schedule my spending, I would not have done what I did last week. I don't know. Is what it is, though. I was going to do it anyway, but still, seems a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, Michaelian, what do you think? I think you have some views on some of this stuff.
Tons. Mostly I just wanted to kind of test out what it's like to hop in here via the Restream Studio. This is super pro.
Welcome.
I appreciate the hard work that you've been doing, getting us all kind of orientated on how to use this. Looks good.
Appreciate it.
How do we get Michaelian up here?
I got him.
There you go. Yeah, just a floating voice right now. I got you in the ether. So I got like a long comment list. I just wanted to make sure I shared some of these thoughts before the hour wrapped up. But some of this is kind of back to earlier points that y'all were making. But here's just kind of like Michaelian's hot take, right? So the Twitter Space prototype that's coming on Lens, it's called Rally.
That's it. Yes.
It's looking very tasty. It's in alpha right this second. I've been in communication with the team. We're going to dominate it as soon as it's available. We're going to be some of the early test crowd for that and stay on the front edge of that, because that'll be like huge for the Lens ecosystem development. And so it's not specific to Lenster either. It is indeed just a Lens DApp project. They'll have their own website, this own place you go to and schedule spaces. And it's going to be a little bit like Clubhouse in that regard, a little bit more like Clubhouse, say, than Twitter Spaces. But that's called Rally, and it's incoming as we speak.
Love to hear it.
Same thing there, kind of following on that, is Gotchi Brothers are going to wake back up in January 2023. That'll be a goal that we have there, is to get back on the air and get some more shows back on tape and get back into the mix there, because that was fun when we did it. There's so much happening in the Aavegotchi ecosystem. There's so many interesting people, in the Gotchi gang. And so
this crowd is something else.
Exactly.
You'll have plenty of material to draw from.
We're overdue for a Rigo sit down. He owes us an exclusive.
He owes us.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. Zifi and I were actually talking about the revival of Gotchi Brothers and how we were going to get you to do it. So good thing you're already.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, there you go. Good. Congratulations. Mission accomplished. You did it.
That was easy. That was the easiest thing I've done all week.
Nice.
One thing I did want to talk. This thought I've been having. So Smokescreens and I were having a long conversation about this last night, because he has been so engaged on the fake Gotchis. He just hasn't quit. He's spending more than he should, quite honestly. But he's so excited
Aren't we all?
be involved. Yeah, he's just so happy to be involved. And something that it made me reflect on is with the recent proposal that went up for the Aavegotchi Foundation directors and the formation of the initial 9 and that public vote that went up. I did pretty well in that vote, and I think I landed in the 5th or 6th spot. And I was just looking down the list of those people like Yannick leading in that public vote. The thing I reflected on is that I'm probably one of the weakest holders in that whole group. I'm not a very big fish in the Aavegotchi ecosystem. I don't have multiple gotchis, like more than 10. I don't have lots of parcels. I don't have lots of ghost. My voting power on Snapshot is extremely weak. And what clicked for me is that doesn't mean that I can't participate. That doesn't mean that I can't have influence. That doesn't mean that I can't engage in the governance and development of this platform. Dollars do not equal representation in this environment. And that is already true. And so what we, that's a thing that goes back and forth depending on the circumstance of presentation. But we have a shot here. Like, we do effectively offer a pipeline for people to have representation without necessarily having the bankroll.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's a good point. There's more to influence than just voting power.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, just with us, all of us here at GMI specifically has just done a great job of showing no futuristic. And I've talked to a lot of y'all about this with DAO, like who's writing the proposals and who's campaigning versus who's covering and who's presenting. And those are almost two separate communities. And we see this a lot with these ideations and proposal creations that kind of happen in silos. It's like, where do these happen? Does someone go camping and they just come back from the weekend and they have a proposal to kick out into the gotcha gang? And these discussions sometimes happen extremely quick and doesn't have a lot of discussion on the DAO forums before they hit the snapshot. And the gotcha gang's eager. Once things are on snapshot, we can quickly make decisions whether or not we should be at that time. And so it's just something that I see happening, is sometimes these proposals feel like we all are looking around saying, who brought this up? Like, where did this come from? Why are we talking about this? Why is this on the table? And it's interesting to me that a community can feel like blindsided by its own governance. A little bit more here for the Alchemica spending comp. Same thing with Hefe there. The ghost against the Alchemica spent. So I want you to spend your soft money and we'll give you our hard money. It's not necessarily that much fun in my mind. If 25K from Pixelcraft is on the table, a lot of defenders for this proposal have mentioned that it's just an experiment and we should take a shot at it. It's just a small price tag. Let's just try. Well, can't we be just as effective with the 25,000 ghost opposed to the 80? I don't think that's a deal breaker.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Whether or not we think it's overall a good or a bad idea,
let's just test it with a smaller
tripling
bag
of funding a good idea?
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's do it with the small price tag if we're on a proof of concept. There's no reason to overreach.
I would also like to see if switching it to Alchemica for the next competition made it as like participatory. Like if you actually put like other things on the line besides Ghost, will people pay attention?
Absolutely.
Yeah, why not other deco? Why not fakes? Why not?
Well, that's exactly my next point. I've thought the Halloween decoration contest, I thought the tile art contest, I thought those are fantastic. I thought they were very engaging. They do a really good job of, because you said something earlier, Zombie, I thought was interesting about like having the whole genre of assets on your parcel. If you got one of every class and you've got them all lined up vertically along the edge of your spaces and it looks like crap, I still don't think that should necessarily even be rewarded. Because for me, that's also like, again, rewarding dollars moved opposed to like effort given. And there is something to be said about dollars moved. And I don't want to just smack against folks that are here to provide the liquid grease. But at the end of the day, like the content and quality of our culture, of our ecosystem, that's what sells. Like those well-designed tile art submissions, those are inspiring to see.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there is something about the community curation aspect of those things that certainly makes it more aesthetic, and it makes it harder to know that people aren't like voting for their friends and things like that. But yeah, what I was saying earlier, like for sure, you're right. Like it wouldn't really know whether or not the multiplier wouldn't know whether or not you had any aesthetic value to throwing all these things on your land. You could literally throw them in a row and just be like, boom, I have them.
Well, the queue is working really well, it seems, so far for fake gotchis. It has its moments of anomaly, but for the most part, it seems like it's working a lot like Craigslist flagging did. And so community curation, I'm very bullish on community curation, not necessarily metric driven qualification. I've been in trading contests and been like one rank out of qualifying, and that it hurts. It's not fun. Talking about social curation, Zombie, you probably saw, but Rah has now announced on Lens that they've now arrived on the Lens platform. Rah Social is something that I've talked about before. They've been around since 21. And
interesting.
Like the summer of 21, I think, is when I first found them. And I'm just tickled to see them on Lens because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like a perfect match. Like y'all built the egg and before the chicken was even found. And so
how's that gonna work though?
So like right now, it's actually without getting too long-winded here, it's most easily explained via Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram, how you are given the choice to spend monetary value and purchase higher rarity or more exclusive stickers and emojis and reactions, essentially currency backed reactions.
Right.
The problem in that realm obviously is it's all Web 2 and it's all silo based, and Facebook's the one that gets the money for the sticker, and the guy gets the sticker, and everyone and that's the end of the whole story.
Same thing with like Giphy on Instagram. Like Gerline and I were gonna do one of those Giphy competitions, and then I read all the fine print, and it was like, yeah, we keep your shit.
Yeah, you're basically you're marketing for them. Right. You're creating engagement for their platform. And so,
how bad do you want your 15 seconds of fame? We'll give you a platform and take all of your contributions.
But do you really want your content creator to recognize your reaction? Spend $10 and give them a teddy bear instead of just a thumbs up emoji, and maybe they'll say your name on stream. There's this incentive behind it, and that's kind of what Rah is touching on, but it kind of the Web3 approach. So if Lenster is for Twitter and or Facebook, then what Rah is going to provide is that paid for reaction infrastructure. Where it gets really interesting is that it's the artists on the front end of the Rah social platform that actually are hand creating these reactions. They hand create these emojis, and these NFT reactions. And if you personally like that shirt you're wearing, if Stellar took that all the way to being a reaction emoji and put that into the Rah database and people liked it and utilized it a lot, he is the beneficiary of that revenue creation stream.
I know Zach from Polygoons is big with
big over there. He's been there since the beginning too. Yeah,
and he's got some emojis, reactions, some polygoons.
I have one so far, the good boy for my little doggy. I was lucky enough to take that pet slot, so I think that there's a future in that one. So plug in my own bags here, use that good boy emoji when the time comes. But check out for Rah because I told Christina about it when we were first playing on Lens when we first got there, and she came back at me quick. She's like, "Oh, we know about Rah. Like we're talking to the team already. We're aware. Nice. Good heads up. But yes, we're watching." And then now here they are. And so for me, I think there's something special happening. So I want to keep an eye on that. The last two things for me, and then I'll shut up and y'all close out the show here. GMI has forwarded the one-hit wonder holders list to the team at the Crazy Crows project. And so they're putting those 123 lucky holders on their allow list for the incoming old pouches drop that's coming. So heads up, we'll get details through the GMI channels there, but that's something I've been meaning to do and finally got done. And then last but not least, Hefe mentioned this here in the comments about whether or not the arena battle results could or should affect Gotchi kinship. My gut immediately was like, hell no, that's ridiculous. But as soon as I thought twice about it, I was like, wait, that's actually genius. I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, the more you engage, the more you train.
Well, and even more so if Gotchi gets his ass kicked, I think he should take a big knock on his kinship. And
that's
he should
right.
be like,
you should have had a better prepared. Yeah, exactly.
You set me up for failure, man. I'm not happy.
You did this to me.
I kind of feel you. I definitely feel you on the kinship go up for training.
I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but this is where Hefe's crazy brain is.
Well,
with that, I'm going to shut up and get off the mic at least, and you guys.
No,
thank you so much for your inputs, though, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think your Gotchi getting punished for losing a battle is a bit harsh, only because we don't know how play to win this is going to be yet.
Yes. We do know that you can only, right, you do know that you only win by hitting like 3 criteria. You have to have no damage taken for 15 seconds. Shoot, I just closed my tab, but there's only 3 ways that you can win, and you have to hit all 3 boxes. So I don't know if there's ways that you can lose stuff you brought to the competition, or if that's just the only way to secure the things you've gained during the competition. Yet to be seen.
Okay, I have not. Yeah, I'm bad at this. I still have not like thoroughly read through the blog, and I assume that's where you got all that from.
I'm gonna see if I can get it.
I totally forgot. I like breezed. I think it came out, like blog came out when I was in Miami, so I just honestly haven't caught up. Yeah, December 3rd. That's definitely when I was in Miami. So yeah, I do definitely need to read back and get the specifics. I should have been prepared to talk more about that, especially since can someone confirm we are doing testing this week? Probably starting Thursday as these things happen. Some Mumbai testing.
Looks like Friday. We're getting ready to roll out Friday, December 16th.
Yeah, Hefe's definitely confirmed that those operations.
Nice, thank you.
Are we doing a stream?
We'll let him answer the comments if they want us to stream that or not, but we'll know where it's happening at least.
Well, I mean, we're definitely going to stream. If nobody else is,
we'll
get our own little team together here on Restream and figure something out.
Yeah, I bet we'll be the ones to make it happen.
Before we bounce, Super Paul's been in here the whole time.
He's at work. He mentioned.
Oh, he's just listening in.
Yeah, he's just
okay, cool.
Just wanting to kind of lurk in our green room there. Got this for the sandwiches.
You're welcome. You know what? Next time we'll have sandwiches. They're going to be here, so nothing I can do for you. But next time
I'll have a fun stream, man. Like I think doing it live,
studio's turning out to be pretty fun now that we're getting the hang of it.
Totally. We're still having some audio issues with like running teams and stuff. It seems like this podcast format is great, but I don't know about piping audio in yet because that seemed to be giving like weird clipping issues.
Yeah.
We're
both having issues trying to get external sources and our mics output to Restream at the same time.
I can get it in, but it seems to have like a weird clipping issue, and I seriously think it's just that their encoder can't hang. But I will definitely continue to try and keep pushing the limits on what this technology is going to do for us. And then hopefully, because I made a big loud post about it on Lens, hopefully the Huddle team is listening. The Huddle team needs to get on it because, I know that they're working closely with Lens and Lens Tube, and that's going to be probably another big avenue of where we start to do From A to Z. And
we're happy to test.
I'm excited for the arena this week. I'm excited for all the upcoming changes with From A to Z. Also, I can drop a little more alpha since, remind everybody about the Secret Santa, of course. But, we've been talking a while, Gerline and I, we've been mentioning for a while about this animated series we want to start working on. So we're definitely going to get some news out about that before the end of the year. There will be some big announcements and stuff. So definitely be following zimtimo.lens if you're not already. And then obviously me, ZombieShepherd.
Get on A to Z too. We've got a new From A to Z Lens account.
That's true. We dropped a From A to Z Lens account, but we have not done our Genesis post yet, and we're going to make it something special. So you might want to be the collector of the From A to Z Genesis post. I don't know what that's going to look like yet.
That's real alpha there.
That's some alpha right there. So that is from A to ZZZ.lens, just how we spell the show.
And there's an imposter on Twitter. That's not us. Same spelling, not us.
Not us.
Beat us to it.
How did they get the same spelling? That's a weird.
How is right? We might have to try to buy them out or something. We'll see. Could put show at the end.
We're gonna find out it's somebody we've been down in their governance proposals, and they're going to be like, "I've got your podcast."
You want this Twitter account? It's $50,000. Oh crap!
50K Ghost. Well,
That's
no,
right.
when
You
they
better win
ask
the
in Ghost,
entire
we'll be like,
competition.
I see your game, sir.
It's
You
an
are
inside
Gotcha
joke.
Gang, of course. Cool.
Well, this was a
man.
cool episode. Should we wrap it up here? Right at the hour?
Wrap it
Seems
here,
like
man.
a good spot.
Everybody get in your Secret Santa. We got to do this. There's definitely some cool people entering the Secret Santa. I say everybody needs to get in there. You got a chance of getting a 101 from like Aavegotchi artists. You know what I mean? Like,
and you still otherwise have a chance to get a gift from someone, from a stranger for fun, and make a piece and make a gift for
exactly.
fun.
You get
I'm excited to try to make a piece because I haven't done
Well,
anything since the artist summit.
Well, and just to kind of comment on what Zombie was saying there too, I'm very impressed. I guess excited, energized. Most of the contributors that have already finished their work are some of the premier fake Gotchi artists, and it's because they're all so fired up right now. Like they're the
now
ones
what
that
we
are
need to
content
do.
mode.
Yeah,
They're
exactly. What we need to do in the name of fairness for all of us, just to make sure that we don't ourselves, like just for it's fair to everybody and nobody knows that we're not gaming it for ourselves. We need to record the Wheel of Names whenever we do it, but we don't need to stream it so it's secret. But that way we have it on file. If anybody's like,
for sure,
this was not on the up and up, we'll be like, look, I wish.
Zombie got all the best pieces and everybody
23
else got
submissions so far. So it would be nice if we got an even number.
23, nice.
That's a wicked amount, actually, and we'll be okay. We'll be able to produce some house assets too if we need to even things up, but it should be okay. Yeah, there will be nobody without a dance partner.
Perfect. Honestly, if it ends up being an odd number, I can always do a second submission because
it's not a deal breaker. Odd number's fine because everyone who enters a piece gets a piece. Doesn't matter what.
I guess you're right. It doesn't.
Everything
matter.
could just shift one to the left, and everyone gets someone else's
stuff. You're
stuff.
absolutely right.
That's because Zefi is so smart.
You guys keep me around for something, right? I like to think it's that, but we'll see. Shoot.
You know what kind of sucks about this comment thing, though? People are dropping links, and I can't click them.
They don't link out from the studio. Yeah, you got to go back over to the main Twitch, and then they link out just fine, but not here in studio.
Studio aggregates all the comments from all the sources we're streaming to, and it only allows us to toggle show it on screen or don't show it on screen.
Yeah, so we can't.
So
click
we would
links.
have to go to the source.
Lame.
That's okay. Let's we can. Hey, we're used to this in crypto. We'll have to let Restream know what they need to fix.
Yeah,
we're not
that's an easy fix for us
just looking at us and being like, we don't care.
At least the people in the comments get it. But like you said, we got 3 people on Gotchiverse Twitch. We got 2 people on ZombieShepherd Twitch, and we got 1 person left on YouTube. They dropped off. We had a lot of people on YouTube earlier.
I saw 10, 11 viewers. That was good.
That's cool, though. That's nice to throw out a big old dragnet.
Yeah. Exactly. And we're going to be doing this for all the calls. This is just the first one for From A to Z. But yeah, we're going to be doing this for the Aavegotchi community calls, the Aavegotchi DAO calls, GMI calls. Our whole Friday night stuff will be going on across multiple channels. So. Hell yeah. So. Anyway, we are going to be talking with our new From A to Z collaborator tomorrow. So maybe some big alpha and some big information next week on From A to Z. And in the meantime, tune in to D420 and Zombie Time and the GMI call on Friday. And
Gotchi Spaces Wednesday.
Gotchi Spaces Wednesday. And at some point, I think we'll be doing some kind of testing of the arena with the GMI crew. So my KLM, Hefe, Zefi, and Zombie probably get in there at some point and do some battle on camera.
The hook's my only weapon, but I'll put Zefi in. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I noticed Hefe and I are battling the same because I got the full Thave suit as well. He's got the full Thave going on.
Strong showing.
And then I got a wizard set up as well. So I got my other Gotchi's got a wizard gear, so I'm ready to do. And I got a hot coffee, so if the hammer don't do it, the coffee will.
I like it.
And I got a cactus. I don't know what that counts for, but I'm hoping a cactus does damage, right? Like
if you touch it real hard.
You know?
Don't bump into my cactus or you're taking some damage.
I mean, it's a pet cactus. It can attack, right?
Let's start a proposal to make sure that that's a yes.
My pet
Defend
cactus
those
better have some
bags.
offensive moves. Yeah, drink the coffee, throw the mug, just like people do with their guns in action movies. Oh, you're out of bullets, just throw it. It's a projectile still. All right. We will see you Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then
Back on next Tuesday.
every day.
Soonly every day. That's the goal. We'll fill this whole slot with programming. It'll be great.
Yep, absolutely. Cool, friends. Peace.
Thanks again for coming. We'll see you next week.
See y'all next time.